Hi, I'm Amy from Blue Steel Equestrian, and Bubbles is very upset because he hasn't also been introduced. And this is Bubbles from Blue Steel Equestrian, and welcome back to the Grooming Guru. Today we are going to be looking at fitting a bridle, and we are going to be using the beautiful Blue Steel Equestrian yellow stitch bridle, which I've got here on my shoulder. And let's go. Alright, Bubbles. Okay, so this bridle is not Bubbles' actual bridle, so we are fitting it completely. And I want to put the bit down slightly. So I always start with the bit because that's in his mouth and he is a little bit uncomfortable. Always important to have both sides of the bit even, so that it's sitting nice and even in his mouth. Before tightening any straps, I always make it nice and smooth at the top of his pole over here, because can you imagine having a blob of hair underneath your bridle all the time? I would get a headache, so I don't want my horses getting a headache. Always make sure that it's nice and smooth and neat at the top. Then do up your throat lash, because if your horse decides to leave, you've got a major problem. And at least if he decides to walk off, you don't have reins on like I do, and you don't have a pole like I do, you can at least just grab them at the throat lash. The throat lash must always have enough space so that you can fit your hand in there, so when the horse does bend, it has got space and it doesn't strangle him. Now to the nose band. As you can see, this is sitting very, very low on his face, so we are going to lift it. I'm just going to say 3 holes, just so I can get an idea. And I think it is still sitting a bit low, so normally it needs to sit just under his cheekbone. So I'm going to put it up 1 more hole. Good boy, Bubbles. To see if it fits better. And I'm much happier with that. So your buckles always go underneath cheek pieces. This bridle's really nice. It's got a little pad behind the nose band, and for extra comfort for the horse, so it's not just a piece of leather on his bones. So when tightening the nose band, it's important that you don't make it too tight. So I'm going to just make all the straps here. As you can see, he's got enough room underneath there. I can stick my fingers in for movement, and also it's not clamping his whole jaw shut. Then comes the flash. So often people always lose their little keeper on the flash. So a little trick is when you're putting your flash on, make sure that your keeper is at the buckle. You put your strap in the hole, so your keeper can't fall off. Now the same thing applies with the flash, is not to make it too tight. So you can still stick your fingers through there because you don't want to tie your horse's mouth shut. I'm quite a neat freak, so everything has to go into the keepers, and also then at least your little flaps aren't flapping around and knocking your horse in its eye or irritating him. I would also get very irritated if I had something flapping along my face while I was trying to do my work. The brow band mustn't ever be too tight, and also needs to sit perfectly just below his ears. And yeah, Bubbles, I think your bridle fits. Let's put your reins on. Make sure that your reins are always the right way around and not the same way around. Doesn't really make a difference in the way your horse will go and how you'll feel, but just for appearance it's much better. Just to be aware when you're putting your bridle on that they are both the correct way. And when I mean the correct way, I mean the shiny side of the leather and the not shiny side of the leather. And there you have the yellow stitch bridle fitted. I think I'm going to steal this one for Bubbles. These bridles are available at www.blue-steel as well as in store at our retail store in PE. So pop in and happy shopping.